This is the tiny elm that was repotted earlier this year. The link to the video will be above here to see the repotting. We cut off a lot of roots, put it in this pot, and as you can see, it's been growing really well over the spring. A lot of new growth coming out, a lot of new branches. So in this video, I'm going to be selecting branches that I want to keep, putting some wire on them, doing some cutbacks and defoliation. Essentially just kind of like an initial setting of branches, kind of maybe figuring out where I want the front of the tree to display it. But yeah, the tree's doing really well and it's ready for the next round of work. Okay, so the first thing I want to try to figure out when I'm looking at what branches I want to keep is where the front is. And I feel like I have two options. One is this side here, which is really interesting. There's this wound here which will eventually heal over, but it's got some other kind of like you know, some interesting kind of features of the trunk. Over here, the back side, what I'm thinking is going to be the back side, we've got a scar up here, and it just I mean, it has some interesting bark, but I don't think it has as much character as this side. So this is going to be a really old, ancient, small tree. So if I'm going to keep this as a front, I want to kind of identify where my lowest branch is going to be. This is the stub the big branch I cut off. So we didn't get any budding to happen up here, which I didn't really expect, but we do have branches down here. So I'm going to I'll keep one of these in the front and have it down here, and it'll grow out and become larger because it's going to be the largest branch on the tree. And most of these are going to be coming out maybe a little down and then up is probably how I want to wire them. Now in the back here, there's no branches, so that's a bit of a problem. I can use one of these as a back branch. It's not ideal. It'd be nice if it's a little bit higher up. I can also do thread grafting down the road if I want. And then as far as the other thing, I want to kind of just figure out where I want to put the top. So the top of the tree right now, if I look in here, there's a lot of branches, so it's hard to see. Let me see if I can give you a good view. But this was the where I did the cut in the winter time when I was repotting it, and we have some branches that have budded out here. But you know, I like this big branch right here that's kind of growing. It's a long branch, it's a runner, and it's thickened already because it's been growing quite strongly. That really looks good. If I have this as a front, using that branch as kind of the next part of the trunk, let this grow and get about half as thick as this part behind it. Cut that completely off, and then this is all coming out kind of towards me, which is what I'm looking for. So I want to keep this as the new leader for the top. It's going to run for maybe a year. Same way with this bottom one. And then I'm just going to select the other branches. I'm just going to pick a few of them out, the side branches and stuff like that. I'm going to lose some branches because I'm going to trim this stub back. So I'm going to lose these branches up on top. But they're not really coming out at the right place to use them for the next leader to continue the trunk. Overall, the tree's going to be pretty short anyway. It's probably not going to be much taller than it is now, probably about right around there. But doing really well, so I'm going to be able to do a lot of work on it. We'll go ahead and do the time lapse, and I'll check in at the end and let you know how it went. All right, that was pretty quick work. Like I said, you know, just a lot of branch cutting at this point. Put a little bit of wire on these lower branches. Gonna be really low. This is gonna be the thickest branch, so this will really grow. This back one here will grow to be somewhat thick, but not as thick as this side one, this main one here. And otherwise, I just, you know, cut all the little ones off the top, got rid of the bigger ones. I'm just gonna look for a lot of branches up top. We do have this empty area back here. Probably gonna have to do a thread graft, bring your branch around and back through to get something back here if nothing buds out, which I don't think it will. If it hasn't already with all the cuts we did, probably not gonna happen. But that's okay, we can deal with it. I did that big cut at the top. If you notice, this is gonna be the leader. It's gonna continue to run, and it's gonna get fairly thick. So I might have to run for a good, might have to let it grow for a good year and a half, 2 years maybe. And then it'll be thick enough and cut it. Probably just gonna use a little stub. And then, and if you notice this cut I did on the back, so you can't see that scar from the front, and the tree kind of comes out towards the front here, and this continues the front, which is the way we want the tree to come out towards us when we're looking at it. It'll be in a much smaller pot when it's all finished. It's going to grow in this pot for, you know, probably another just repotted it, so it'll probably be 2 years total in this pot, and then it'll be ready to go. All right, that's about it. I'm trying a new format with my videos where I'm going to talk a little bit at the beginning and end, and then do the time-lapse between, just to help explain a little bit of the process and the thought behind what I'm trying to do. Appreciate you for watching. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and I'll keep putting out more videos.